Namaskara, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Siddha Lakshmir, Moksha Lakshmir, Jaya Lakshmi cha Saraswati, Shriyar Lakshmir, Vara Lakshmi cha Prasanna Mama Sarvada. A very good evening to one and all being here in the virtual platform. My heartfelt namaskar to the guest of honor for the day, an internationally acclaimed great person of art and heart, Vidwan D. Keshava sir. Namaskara sir.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ಅವರೇ, ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂತೋಷ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಸಾಗರ್ ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
Namaste, sir.
Namaskara. We wish all our viewers, our guests, our host, everybody a very, very happy, prosperous, satisfied, contented Varamahalakshmi Vrata. That's why I started with the shloka where Lakshmi comes in many forms. It is said, Manushya Rupena Surashcharanti, Devatas move around in the form of Naras, Nararupena Suraha, and today it is blissful Mahalakshmi everywhere, and let her come to us in the form of Siddha Lakshmi, where Siddhi is instantly given, Moksha Lakshmi, let her give us all moksham from all the mortal bondages or all the pains, sorrows, the pandemic and all of this. Jaya Lakshmi, let us all have victory like none other could. Shriyar Lakshmi, let's all be prosperous. Vara Lakshmi, let her be giving us, bestowing us upon with all her merciful boons. Prasanna Mama Sarvada, let her be ever pleased by my salutations. This is the shloka, and with this, I take this opportunity to welcome our guest Keshava sir, our very vibrant host Sagar sir, and all our respected audience members. In spite of being a festival evening, you've all taken time off to watch us live on Facebook, Insta, YouTube. Thank you so much for the lovely inspiration, lovely source of inspiration each time we come online. Thank you so much. And without further delay, I now take the honor of talking about a mountain of achievements. Though he has done a lot in life, he stays very, very grounded, and that is what we, the younger generation, will have to follow. I'm too happy and honored to be talking about Keshava sir because our association is quite long and we come from the same land. That's our princely city of Mysuru. So, Keshava sir, it's an honor talking about you. I dare not say I introduce you, sir, but it's each time my honor that I'm talking about you.
Thank you so much.
Dear audience members, this is our Keshava sir, Vidwan D. Keshava, choreographer, dancer, yoga and dance teacher, and a fine musician too. He is a consummate artist of many artistic fields, dance, music, yoga, and whatnot. He was born and brought up in Mysuru, as I mentioned, and he has studied dance and music and the theatrical art forms at the princely Mysuru University. As the first male dancer in Karnataka, he was awarded the title of Natya Visharada and a gold medal at that time. He has studied the Indian temple dance form Bharatanatyam in the prestigious Mysore style with the doyen, the illustrious Guru Padma Shri Dr. K. Venkatalakshmama, the last representative of a famous temple dancing dynasty in the state of Karnataka. Keshava sir initially learned yoga from his father and later on from the well-known yoga master Yogiraj Deshikacharya in Mysuru. In addition, he has also studied several classical dance styles, folk dances, vocals, and the stringed instrument Veena with great Indian maestros. Keshava sir is one of the few male Bharatanatyam dancers of his generation. Much before even many of us were exposed to this world, Keshava sir has been doing yeoman service to the field of dance, not only in India, but especially outside our borders. He's been living in Basel, Switzerland, and he with his Swiss partner, Esther Jenny, opened the first school of Indian dance and yoga, Kalashri in Switzerland, and acted as pioneers in establishing Indian art and culture in Switzerland. From 1976, Keshava sir and Esther Jenny ma'am performed together as the Swiss-Indian dancing couple, Esther and Keshava. Their countless appearances on stage each time in Switzerland found a delighted audience. As director of Kalashri Dance Ensemble, Keshava sir created traditional and innovative choreographies which were a great success with the Swiss and Indian audience. He receives great invitations, regular invitations to perform for cultural organizations, international festivals, also for Swiss and Indian TV channels. He has enjoyed success in many, many countries around the world. He has earned a great respect for his relentless efforts as a cultural mediator between India and Switzerland and honored with several awards in the course of his career. Many books have been published by him, CDs have been released, and in 1990 publication of the book Yoga Basics for Beginners. I'm sorry it is spelled in Swiss language, but I'm incapable of reading it that way.
It is,
And
yes, yes.
the publication in 1993, publication of the book The Art of Indian Dance and Its Tradition by the University of Mysore in Kannada, the language of state of Karnataka. 1997, Keshava sir received the Cultural Gold Medal and the Kannada Rajyotsava Award from the Indian government of the state of Karnataka for his cultural activities away from home in Switzerland. 2001, two CDs with songs in the Carnatic style, Carnatic South Indian music, and Daivastuti, the Devaranamas. 2003 has also found a brilliant achievement that foundation of the Kalashri Cultural Center was done in Mysore. 2007 Global Man Award for his life work and for his cultural contribution to society at the 4th Kannada Cultural Convention in Kuwait. Many choreographies have come out of his very thoughtful, very balanced emotional quotient, also the intelligence quotient, like the Mohini Bhasmasura, the Tiger and the Honest Cow, Buddha Charitam, Ramayanam, Dashavatara, and many, the female divinity, dance theatre, Navagraha, the 9 planets, Bhavaragatala, the firebird, stories from the Bible, Panchabhuta, dance theatre, the Himalayans, and many classical, folk, innovative Bollywood style choreographies also Keshava sir has made. Many awards have been conferred on him and many contributions to the field of the glorious field of art has been given by him. And the super quality of this great artist is that he always proves that Vidya Dadati Vinayam. He is always very humble, very grounded, and very down to earth person. Keshava sir, it's indeed an honor to have you on board. And now I invite my brother, Vidwan Sagar Tumakuru, to kindly carry on this interesting, inspiring conversation with Keshava sir. Over to you, gentlemen, and thank you so much for this lovely opportunity. Sagar sir, as always, it is a great matter of pride for me to be always with you in all these cultural endeavors. And thank you for this lovely opportunity. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Thank you
Namaste,
so
Keshava
much,
sir. Namaste,
Rupashri.
Rupashri ma'am.
You are like a young sister, but what you said, it's so good blessings for me also. I take it as blessing too, because you
Sir,
are a
it's my
Muttaide,
honor to
and
do
today
this.
is Lakshmi, so you are gracing me. Thank you so much for this all.
I'm
Thank
honored, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so impressed and touched by the commitment you have, Rupashri ma'am. Thank you. Though it's a very festive
Incredible.
day today,
Incredible.
and in spite of all your busy schedules, you have made time for Rasagrahi and Sankatha. This episode, I think, it shows your commitment
Sir,
towards
what
your
more can
words.
be
Thank you
delightful?
so
Sagar
much.
sir, what more can be delightful than celebrating art forms? Thank you so much for this opportunity, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am. Thank you so
That's
much.
exactly that. Yes, that's exactly that. Thank you so much. When I feel sad, then I think about a shloka or a dance or whatever. I play a little bit flute and then gives me so much strength and peace.
Correct,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Yeah,
That is
thank
the
you.
thing, not the money.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Yes.
accepting our invitation again, the second time. I think we had a wonderful, educative, informative, and an enthralling performance come demonstration. I think in July last year, and for our Rasagrahi itself, you were part of the Sampradaya Saptaha series where we explained the different banis and sampradayas which are existing in Karnataka. And we are very proud again to invite you, and you have been very kind enough to accept our invitation for the second time to be part of this unique conversation series, which we have almost crossed 37 episodes, interviewing various different achievers, male dancers especially, and to know about their different kinds of experiences dancing and in the field of dance and their achievements. Some of them are young, and they are going through the process, and some of them like you who have already been through more than 50 to 60 years
Oldest.
dancing.
Yes, it.
60 years dancing is something, a great a boon and a vara which you have got from Varalakshmi,
Yes.
I say, on this day. So what more anybody would need than a capacity or a capability to dance at any age and any point of time? I think it's a great inspiration which you have drawn from your own guru, whom we'll also be talking about in future. Welcome to the show, sir. And
Yes.
sir,
Thank you so much, Sagar. Yeah. Such a realization, and it's such a big compliment. It's not only compliments, it's the fact that you say to me, and I'm very much honored also. Like I said to Rupashi, you're also like a younger brother for me. So I take it also, it's a great pleasure to be here with you and share my history or whatever. Thank you so much.
yes, sir.
I'm
Sir,
ready. Yes.
it's a good, I think it's a vast, long journey of, ticket, what we can say, like a ticket to Hollywood from Mysuru to Bessel. It's a long journey and a wonderful journey, and a more meaningful journey is what we all say, because you have been the cultural ambassador of our country itself, representing our nation in terms of its cultural representation, and spreading it over and propagating it in a Western world. So before to that, how did it all began? That what kind of there is a wording in Kannada. ಕಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಸೆಳೆಯುತ್ತದೆ, ಆಕರ್ಷಿಸುತ್ತದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಕೆಲವರನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಪ್ಪಿ ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟು ಡ್ವೆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇನ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪಗೇಷನ್, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ವೇರ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್. And how did this all began, sir?
Thank you so much. Can I sing a shloka, a short one?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Start. Om Sarvesham Swasthir-bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir-bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes. So coming back to your question, yeah, it started. I think, I don't know, maybe before I was born already. I think from transferring from other body to another body, because we believe all in Hinduism, reincarnations and rebirth. The soul doesn't die. Just when the time comes, the prana leaves the body. So, yeah, very at younger age, I was born in 1946. And from the childhood, the whole atmosphere at home was very not religious, let me say spiritual. Not religious in that sense, fanatic way, but it's more spiritual. It was. My father was, though we were not Brahmins, but at our place, all the festivals, Hindu festivals, were celebrated in a traditional way. I was born to a big family with 10 children, and our parents looked at all the children equally and brought up us in a very good manner. And my father had a Guru Bodhana when he got 60. And then he was from the beginning, while he was working, he had always had satsangas and all this. Many of the elder people, they would come to our place and sitting after the work. My father was a building contractor. They were doing satsangas and discussing about Vedanta. Who am I? Where do I come? Where I go? And so on, these things. And at the end, they were singing Om. Even the 12 o'clock in the night. And we children, we respected and heard these things. And it was, for us also big blessings to feel that and to be in that mood and all this. So like this, I grew up. The environment at that time, the 46, 50, just after 47, the English people, they left. And it was still this kind of feeling around. My father was also in politics and so, but he was a Gandhi Bhakta. And me too, I was a Gandhi first follower. I clean myself, I do everything, whatever I learned, those things, it influenced me very much. And going to the temple nearly every evening with my sisters or sometimes with my brothers, and attend the upanyasas and harikathas to listen to this, and music concerts. At that time, it was happening, even in a little place, it was happening. Just behind our school, there was a music school also from Mysuru, Vidwamsa S.L. Mariappa, and Srimati Lakshma was teaching Veena. It was a well-known, with like Mysore brothers. They were. He was very well-known Sangeeta Vidwan. So I started also there to learn with him the music too. And then my father, when I was 8 or 9 years old, he brought me to the Sanskrita Patashala, where it was open to the all castes. Even when we went to this Maharaja's Samasta Patashala, this was open to all. Even the other caste children would also come. Even they would get a month 16 annas. At that time, 16 annas for 1 rupee. So to attract children also in a way. But I also went very seriously and learned this Amritshataka shlokas and so for 2-3 years. And then when I came to the middle school, then I was more interested in music and dance and dramas and so on. The school also activities, cultural activities. I was taking part in this. Our teachers, they were asking me to do. Somehow I was always dancing, singing, and they saw me something in this boys more. It's interesting. And when they couldn't come, sometimes teachers, and they asked me to tell stories, moral stories like from Chandamama. I don't know if it still is existing, Chandamama in Canada. No? Oh, it was so beautiful magazine. It was in Canada, Chandamama.
Yeah, we used to have it in our childhood. I have read it, but
Wonderful
unfortunately,
stories.
our children won't have that thing. Now it's
Oh
all
my God.
YouTube and stories, and that's it.
What
It's
kind of stories? So this all created in us to respect the elder people and follow the, not like a very strict rules, but harmoniously, everything. What a bhakta is, what father and mother are, our brothers. In our family, 10 children, we had a small god room. We can all sit 10, it was not small, and make puja first after they're taking bath and all. Read Bhagavad Gita, at least one chapter every day, all the 10 children. And then my father is to make puja. And after the tirtha and prasadam, then we would go to the school tea and take coffee or tea, whatever, and then go to the school. It was like this, the system. And also in the evening, before we go, we had to go to the elders. We had to go to the feet and take their blessings. Even 1 year elder brother, I used to go. So it was like this, the tradition. Later on, when we were all grown up, it went on, but only occasionally in the festival days and so on, that we still do. Yeah. And that was it was very influencing me this to go on this line. Actually, from all our family, I was more interested in this way, you know. And then in the middle school, so when I was so fond of cinemas, so I was looking all these cinemas in all the languages, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam. Because in our house, it was a big house where we had it was like what you oops, what happened?
Nothing.
Okay.
You're audible. Yes, sir.
Ah, and then I learned different languages to speak also by seeing films often, and of course fascinated about this abhinaya and music and dance. At that time, in the films were only mostly classical type of dance, not like Bollywood today. It was not to even think. Um, yeah, this all was I was very much impressed, and I was moving myself. And little festival days, my sisters used to sing, and I would dance or so, or make a drama or things like this. So it developed like that. And in the high school, it was more. We had a drama group. One of my very good friend called Mallaradhya, he founded the Mallaradhya Nataka Mandali. So many famous young drama artists they came to this, like was to Ramesh Kamath, Rajshekar Kadamba from Mysore. They are very famous now. Also, they went on the stage performing Ranganatakalu. And Nagachandra, Mysore. I don't know if you know them, but they are well trained in Natakas. So we were doing Natakas regularly, but always you would get some money also, not just free, even Ganapati Mahotsava, Gokula Ashtami, or Ramotsava, whatever, Deepavali, or whatever celebration. So you used to do when the, uh, just a moment, it is, yeah. And yeah, like this, it went on. I was just dancing. Also, my father brought me, I think, when I was 10 or 12, to a little dance school, which was not very well known. And he was doing many Oriental dances, like, folk dances, also classical, but not that kind of a real classical he was using. So he brought, but I was only very few months I was there. Then I left it and I stuck only to the drama. So I played different kind of roles. Even I wore saris and played ladies' role too. And yeah, when I came to college, somehow decided become a dancer. So it was for me clear when I was 15, 16. It was very clear. In between, I made 2 years of mechanical draftsman course. Also, I did that, but I was underage. I was educated and I didn't get the job. So I started to hunt the job also on that leave, but it didn't work. In between, I did a lot of other small things. I never sat down. I worked in a cloth shop. I worked in an office, helping and this and that. And I started to learn stitching.
Oh,
And which yeah, later I make all my costumes. Most of the costumes I do by myself, even for the big theater, what we do, dance theaters for that. So I learned and cooking, all this, whatever we need for life. So I did those. And when I was a young boy, I used to walk to go to the palace. Actually, boys will go in the evening after the school to the palace to read and so on, because we were allowed to go. We didn't have the lights like this at home, and so we would sit there and work and then come back at 8:30 like this. Going and coming. Sometimes I used to hear the bell sounds of Bharatiya Kalanrityashale of Venkat Lakshma, who was the
oh,
secretary of Chandrasekhar Kal. She was a secretary. And Krishnaveni, the senior student of Dr. Venkat Lakshma, she was teaching. So we couldn't go inside and see, but we would hear. And sometimes go and stay behind the screen and watch this and all. But later it came to my life, like it became a part of my life. So when I joined the college, yes. You want to ask something else?
Yeah, that was a very interesting journey, and nice to know that how the struggle was for your economical sustenance. Also, though I mean you opted for dance later. Before that, also you faced some economic,
Yes,
in sustenance or something like that. We'll go to this point, I think, in next after next question. So
yes,
we'll quickly carry on your journey from your college days. I think that college days of yours changed your whole
yes,
life, is what we all know
yes,
from your journey.
yes,
You got to meet the great guru, the stalwart of the Mysuru Parampara, and a pride of our Karnataka dance tradition, Venkat Lakshmama over there, and took her tutelage. And how was it? How was your interaction with those great gurus and your university education? Can you please throw some light? Because I think it was 70s when you got graduated, yeah, I think so.
yeah. I joined the university at 69. I joined
69, yeah. So it's
69. June
yeah.
69, I joined. It was, we didn't have even the own building at that time. It was in Mysore, Akashavani. For a few years, Akashvani was closed. There was no activities and so on. And there, the Fine Arts College was opened. And I was the second batch, actually. There's the Mysore University as first university who opened the degree courses in, yeah, for dance and music, Otherwise, we had our private classes, private gurus who they were teaching outside. But this is, they made a syllabus and all this. So we had to go through fundamentally from the beginning, whatever the practical or theory, whatever, all from the beginning we had to go. And I was very much excited. I was very young. Of course, you felt like, going into that Akashwani, to the middle hall and so on. At that time, the environment is, it is beautiful. At the same time, it's frightening. You don't really trust to go in, and then yeah, you would stay like that. you know. And, but yeah, I could manage. It took 2 3 months. I was the only one boy, and some of the senior dancers they were there, and musicians. There were all more musicians were there, so for singing, for veena and so violin, and all the stalwarts were there. Great vidvansas. Professor Ramratnam was principal, R.N. Doraswamy, Vishweshwaran from Mysore Brothers, who's teaching Veena and musicology for us, and Deshikachar flute, Vidwan Deshikachar flute, Mahadevappa of Mysore Brothers' father, as for violin, and Sanskrit master Sadashimurti. Great thing. Even just to see them, you would, like ತರ ನಡುತ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ, ಬಟ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸದಿಂದ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. Yes, they were very happy. But sometimes girls were far looking at, look at this guy. In the beginning, I was quite lonely for a few months, I think. And after a year or something like this, we shifted to the land building at Gangotri, not the real college, but it was still building up. It was in the under construction. So in the second year, I think we could have the diploma, go and study at the Fine Arts College. It is fully built and later. Yeah, like I said, I had to start from Teyi. I remember the first time when I went to the Akashvani building, old Akashvani building. So I had to stow like this and so on. Just only ತಟ್ಟಾಡು ಮೂರನೇ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರು, ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಒಂದು 3-4 ತಿಂಗಳಾಯ್ತು. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ತಟ್ಟಾಡುಗಳು ಅಂತ, ದಿನ ಹಾಡುಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಾತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್. ಸೊ ವೆರಿ ತ್ರಿಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಡುಗಳಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಯ್ತು. Then first year we had only a few, one Alaripu, one Kaltuvam, one small Jatiswaram, and one Devanama hage. And then we had theory classes also. We had from Dasharupaka, Abhinay Darpana, And Shastra, of course, selected once in Kannada. It was translated, and our guru was always explaining that, and we would write it down. All its right. I still have this handwritten my theory books. All
Oh.
I have musicology and dance both, and it's beautiful. I would never in my life forget this. When I think something, I just look at this. Even the handwrite scripts of all my teachers, music scripts, everything, I have this. All I have kept it like this only. So, and apart from the dance and music theory, we had to learn languages too. Two different languages, either Sanskrit and English, or Kannada and Hindi. So I studied also at the university. Hindi, I could also Hindi and Sanskrit. I was also, as in high school, I studied also a second language, Sanskrit. So I could continue again further. It helped me a lot. And in diploma, as a minor subject, I learned Mridangam. And in degree, I learned Veena as minor subject and dramatics. So we had main two subjects, dramatics and dance. Yeah, I was so lucky. Saint Lakshma was still at that time. She was standing up and showing not very vigorous adabus also, but she was always continuing. She would hold and push and pull and me and do hangallappa hing madu hangalla hing madu anta. So wonderful experience. Wonderful experience. I still malagtidre yavagladru ಒಳ್ಳೆ program ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ if I go to sleep and this comes again still, and it's beautiful experience to think about that. So it was a great fundamental, and then later on, second year, third year, like syllabus improved, and also we were invited from other universities, other colleges, like Maharaja's College, Yuvaraja's College, or the JC Engineering College. And then college, it was in Gangotri, see. So we used to go and perform with the music group and dance group. So we were selected to give cultural programs in other colleges, so valedictory or whatever, like this. And I started quite early because, of course, I had to earn. I had learned wood carving, to make out of sandalwood, wood carving, make elephants and some other animals. I was living on it on 4 years. For 4 years, I did that. And then when I came to college, after 2 years of diploma, I started to teach for little children. So at that time, I didn't have this own school. We couldn't have it. But at that time, the tradition was the teacher goes to the students' places, because one-to-one we were teaching, or maybe 2 or 3 will gather or something like this in different areas. I used to go and teach. Then I could bring a little suvegam, so I was going, I had such a big long curly hair, and so people, they would easily recognize Keshava is coming now. When they hear, at that time the traffic was not so much, very less cars, very less, and things like this. So I came to know so many other artists, and we were all exchanging this and that, especially with I didn't have, I must say honestly, I didn't have much problem learning in Abhinaya. It went quite very fast. This technique, you had to practice and so on. And I didn't do any other things. So my life was settled. Learn nicely, dance and practice, whatever. And also, thank God, I could earn from that, and also to give home some money, and also manage with that money what I left to my needs.
So there is a question from the audience.
Yes.
This is a question from a great music artist we have from Mysuru only, Guru Prasad
Wow.
sir. He is
Who?
asking you, Guru Prasad sir.
Okay. Yes.
he sends you wishes from Mysore, and he's
Thank you.
asking you what were the. He wants you to share some difficulties which you shared as a male dancer to come to different platforms, performance platforms at that time in India.
Yeah, of course I had to fight. I was upcoming young dancer. Some dance masters, they were there. They were not coming on the stage anyway. They were only teaching. So, but my intention was like that. I never just wanted to sit in a room and teach. All my knowledge is only in between four walls. I was always on the stage, even as a little boy. I'm a performer. So, any cost I wanted to. I was fighting, but slowly, in the college days, whenever we performed the universities, sometimes we had in the college. Actually, yeah, I had problems because of the male dancers. Sometimes in with my gurus only, I had to fight because she selected some these beautiful young girls and beda kanaya sunneru ninnu avada avaru madli anta. It was like like arrow was coming like this to me. Why? Actually, yeah, people they loved it when I came and danced because it was something really very special. Boys coming and dancing. Maybe sometimes the boys they made fun of out of me, or so. But all Astan Vidvans they appreciated me very much. All my teachers, Veena, Dorsamayangara, whoever, or my super brothers appreciated, but they didn't help to come up, go farther, and so. But I always, when I had the problem, because at the university, we were doing a lot of programs to the university. I used to go to vice chancellor or students dean to complain why I'm spending so much time. So directly, the dean Subrachar was like father, and he would appreciate very much. He was appreciating me as a boy that I'm managing this in between all these girls, and he appreciated my talent. Even in the office room, he would chuck ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀನ್ ನವರಸ ಮಾಡು ನೋಡೋಣ, ಈ ರಸ ಮಾಡು ನೋಡೋಣ, ಆ ರಸ ಮಾಡು ನೋಡೋಣ, ಇದೇನ ಹಸ್ತ ಮುದ್ರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. He used to ask in his office room, when I went, and he was always calling. And yeah, most of the university functions, I was selected to go also with the girls. And also the other class girls, they were also very, very kind. Now they are few of musicians are very well-known musicians. But I didn't care if somebody likes or doesn't like. It never bothered me because when I danced, I was happy. Yeah, if people they like it, that's good, well and good. If they don't like it, that's not my problem. Yeah, this is, yeah, I faced a lot. Of course, I had to complain. Yeah, life is a struggle. Eesabeku, iddu jaisabeku. You cannot just give up. So
I know,
I
because we can
thank you,
understand
Guru
now
Prasad.
it's almost, yeah.
Sorry.
Now it's almost equity of performances and chances, and male dancers are welcome to perform. And at I think in 70s and 80s, it was more to do with men teaching and women performing. So I think you were in that zone of transition when men also started performing. And thank you for sharing that. It was a very challenging task for you to even approach to platforms
Yes,
to
yes,
perform. And with this, I think you have learned the great Mysore Bani of Bharatanatyam from the
yes.
legend. But
Mhm.
as we all know, the time, I mean, nothing is constant, only the change is constant. So we want to know what are all the changes you have brought in your education system, as to how, because you learned under a university mode of education mostly, and then you have gone to her for extra education to Venkat Lakshmama too. But it was mostly initiation, and most of your learning happened in the university. So from then
Yeah,
on,
but
you
she
were
was the reader.
Yeah, yeah,
Dance I only learned from her. Yes.
yeah. So after learning in a university mode, and now you are running a classes of your Institute of
Ah,
Kalashri. So what is your changes which you have got in from that mode to this mode, or what are the different changes which you have brought in for today's need of
yes.
learning?
You see, it's a responsibility for me. What I've learned to preserve that like that. If I do my own things, then I can change. Change means develop. You know. But here it was more interesting. I should tell when I came here as a male dancer. Before that, how I came is also I should quickly tell because the Swiss lady, my wife Esther Jenny, she was the first Swiss lady who came to Mysore and tried to join the university and learned yoga and Hindustani music also. But my madam could not speak, teach in English and so on. Then she, Esther took private lessons for me. So I was very, yeah, I don't know. I was always a joyful person and then doing this and that. And so maybe she liked that. And I liked her. So, and then we were, became Guru and Shishya, not friends. So she asked me to teach, but she had also a few lessons from KP Madhurao. Madhura was also there, very few months, and then she concentrated here. And luckily, she got to know the Mysore Maharaja's sister Sujaya Devi, and they allowed her or gave a chance to live in a cottage in Chamundi Vihar, Nazarbad in Mysore. And she had a big hall to practice and all. So I used to go to her in the morning and the evening, two times after my other classes or before the classes, and taught. She stayed for till 4 years. In between, she was coming and going. She had to earn money also. Her Arangetram was done also in 74. The university level, and Javaregoda was the chief guest and all this. Yes, some politicians whom I also knew personally, who had seen my performances. And some of the today's or yesterday's famous politicians who they studied when they were young in Gangotri. So I had this kinds of friendship. Also, they were always wondering because in Manasa Gangotri, I was the only one dancer, at that time. And all the post-graduation students, if they want to have any cultural activities, who were staying in the hostels, women hostel and male hostel, I used to go and to teach and make choreographies at that time only, so Kannada Gitas or this and that, not classical dances,
Okay.
folk dances. Well, simultaneously, I learned different kind of folk dances. My guru, she was not only my guru at that time. Classical dances, they would not so appreciate folk dances. It was a time there too, but I was very much interested, and I learned so many different folk dances, and then I could make choreographies with the folk steps, different songs, and this post graduation student from other subjects, and they were learning. So ladies and boys too. Even I used to make all plates for all these ladies, and they did sometimes they didn't know how to wear the sari. Believe me. And so I said, Keshava, please, please. So I was helping them and so on. Yeah, like this. Actually, it was going on one way. It was going on very well. In another way, um, yeah, as a solo person to come up, it was a problem. But somehow I had so many good opportunities, and that the Mysoreans could notice me as a young dancer coming up and so on. Yeah, in Dasra exhibitions and all these. Even in Bangalore, used to come and perform. So not big performances, but yes, sometimes.
So,
Yes, that.
which is the favorite item of yours which you have learned from your guru? Some very famous and favorite items for you, near to your heart, Sats.
My problem. I love all the items, whatever, even if it is a shloka. I give same preference to Varanam also. It's a joy. The heart is, there is so much place, you can take in. It's never gone, it's coming out, coming out. You understand what I mean? This
Yes.
joy for any movement, because I always try to check myself if my samapada is okay, if my aramand is okay, if I'm jumping like this or not, and these things. I always try to correct myself too. Yeah, favorite, if many, I cannot say. Daru perhaps in Kamach Raga on Chamdeshwari.
Mate.
Mate. You danced this too. Yes. Yes. This I did it at the university festival where I got first prize. There was competitions were going on. Yeah, so I was doing or Dashavta Rashtrapati. Oh yes. Yeah, many other Devanamas are lovely, lovely ones. I can forget myself. Yes.
Sir, and yoga. Yoga is something which Kalashri also is very well expertised and gives a service, a great service in Switzerland today to all aspirants of yoga in the Western world. So, how did it happen to? You just told about Esther ma'am pursuing her yoga studies in Mysore, but we all know that you also do a great yoga abhyasa and regular yoga abhyasa and also teach. So both of you are teaching yoga.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
how
yes.
did dance help you in pursuing yoga, or how yoga helped you to dance better?
Oh, yes. But for me, it's a dance is also a kind of yoga. See, we have Nada yoga, different kind of yoga. Dance is also not yoga, it's a yoga too. But real yoga, yeah, I learned it from childhood only from my father, as I said. And then later on, there was a Taruna Sangha when I was a young boy. A brahmachari, the yoga teacher, was teaching there. So we used to go twice a week. I used to go. And some other kids were coming also in my age. He was a very strict one. We were doing all the asanas and pranayamas too. Not dhyanas, but keep quiet or laying down and in shavasana to relax. So I was doing for a few years, and then later on when I came to high school also I had to stop for different reasons, because yeah, there were some reasons and I couldn't do that. But then later on, because I was playing cricket and football, coco, all these two, and drama was very busy practicing and so on. We were going to different villages even, with the Malaradhya. And yeah, I was much more in love. And then later when I joined the college and so on, then I met Deshikachar, Yogiraj Deshikachar, who was a teacher for Jawaharlal Nehru, and he was invited to teach yoga for military from Mysore, because Mysore is the very authentic place for yoga from Tikshnamacharyas. And Deshikacharya, my guru, he was the first disciple of Krishnamacharya, who helped also the first little book that Tikshnamacharya wrote, and he did that, and so on. Yeah, he taught me. He was a very orthodox Brahmin, and in the beginning it was a little bit, but I didn't give up. I showed my interest, and he took me to private classes 1-to-1, and he told all the meaning and the aim of the yoga, the senses why we have to do, and so on. So it was very much integrated for me, and I realized that yoga helps. Yeah, breathing, just breathing. If you want to take every kshana, every moment, you have to breathe, right? Every inhale and exhale is so important. It's like a punarjanma. I go very deep in that, so I have realized it, how it helps. It's not only just relaxing or flexibility and so on, it takes you more. Each simple physical activity is bound with your mental activities and otherwise too. What do you think? You move like this. How you move, you think like this. You can, yeah, every moment. every moment. And that is the thing. So you learn a lot of discipline and get to know your body, your muscles, the functioning of your nerves, organs, how it works. If you are nervous or if you are relaxed, all these things that you will have a control through the yoga. And you will be aware of different things. That is the aim of the yoga. Then, of
Yoga.
course, the spirituality goes further. When you know the fundamental things of Hatha Yoga, Yama, Niyama, there are things where you learn what is santosha, what is patience, what is tripti. You learn. First, you must learn that. Only then
Yeah.
you can really get into the yoga. Not doing asanas quickly and doing acrobatic things. Not that. First, you should. That's what I always teach to my people. Let us sit first and sing a sloka or think about yourself, forget all other thoughts before you start. Be clean and try. It needs time. Get into the real mood. Anyway, like this, I realized long back, and you learn also balancing your body and mind, find the harmony in that. That's the yoga also. And then it helps physically, of course, to dance for the concentration, body balance, and use your strength consciously, energy. You don't,
Energy.
yeah, you don't use unnecessarily. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ to do yoga, you should not use much all your strength, but you must gain the strength. So how you get the new thoughts, you also get the new power. That's the yoga. That's what we are saying. Of course, in detail, I'm not telling all the things, but these are the main things what you can. And then combined with the body, yoga is do it for you. It goes inside for your soul. Dance, you express your feeling outside.
Outside.
So, and that is
That's
the
a
main
great
difference.
answer, sir. Nice to know. It's a revelation which we all had because as dancers, I think most of them young dancers that too we concentrate mostly on body fitness, balance, and also it's more about our breathing control and things like that sometimes and how to use energy. But a different aspect of looking yoga is getting within more within because dance is also something which we have to experience it within. I think
Of
it is
course.
more to do with experience and your mind, and I think that's what I think you're trying to touch that body, mind, and soul aspect, which is possible through yoga and dance together. And thank you for such great words what you have
Well,
given, sir.
it's only the knowledge what my teachers gave it to me, and I'm telling this, and I do it till every day. I do, every day I do. And yeah, it is only I lost my hair. Otherwise, everything is okay. My teeth are original teeth, you know,
No, and
and my
we
body
saw
is.
your video on YouTube is viral, where for one of the lecture demonstrations, I think even in last lecture demonstration which you gave us also, you did the Egri Mettadavu, Taiha Taihi, for I think for more than 2 minutes or something like that, continuously in all the different speeds,
I
which
had to
even
stop. I thought I might bore the audience. Stop.
so I
No,
think that at the age of nearing 80, it's not an easy job because some people even can't stand up in a proper position at that
this
age.
is
I think
what I said. How you
yeah,
use the energy. You
exactly.
don't jump here. Also, you don't use it strictly like this. You enjoy the arm position. You enjoy. You feel till the fingertip. You don't hold here. You don't hold here. You leave it broad. You feel like that is yeah. This is okay. I mean, you can swim like anything if you know how to swim. So that's what you also learn, and automatically, if you are well trained in that, automatically, like ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಇಂದ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಹಾಗೆ if you know all these things, so then you don't think it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Sir,
As,
and you traveled to Switzerland with your better half
yes.
uh, to settle down there. How was it the cultural scene when you went there, and how was it to establish an Indian art center? How was the response by the people, and how was it in your initial ages? Because we know now that Kalashri is a very established setup with a grand studio and different facilities you in being provided in terms of yoga, Bharatanatyam, and shows, and a little bit lot of collaborations between drama, contemporary dance, and things like that. It's very well established. But can you share some moments of your initial ages of how was it? Were you in what you can say invited or welcomed very grandly, or there was some aversion towards it, or it was very neutral and you had to struggle for to establish a center in Switzerland?
No, yeah. No, when my wife already, she was going and coming, right? And she
Yeah.
had learned in 3 years before the Arangetram also, she went there and trained. And she was already teaching in a ballet school, in a modern ballet school, yoga. She learned when Patabi Joyce Ashtanga Yoga Institute, Mysore. It's world famous, has become world famous at that time, not. But Abhi Joyce had a lot of foreign students, and then she also went there and learned privately. And she made her diploma there as a yoga teacher. So and when she came, she had already started teaching. At that time, yoga was not so well known. Yes, it was known, but not so well. In the whole our city, there was only 2 schools. And when I came, then it was a third school. But now you can see 20 or more. I don't know. Yeah, the thing is, earlier times also for the dancers, they didn't know when the Indian dances. I tell you, at that time I was doing always yoga. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ 60 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸೊ ಮುಂದಿನ ಜನ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ so you get ready and all this to or pray for better life and things like this. That is yoga. Balastava Krida Sakha Tarunastava Taruni Sakha Vriddhastava Chinta Sakha Parame Brahmani Kopina Sakhanta Bhaja Govindam. There is a thing. It's all said, it's all said actually. Um, like this, when I came to Switzerland, everything was ready. Esther had arranged, and this ballet school teacher, she was so fascinated. Young people that had never seen Indian dance, some of perhaps few from Uday Shankar or Bala Saraswati had performed in a very small place. I still have a program in German, it is written, and Mrinalini Sarabhais, that's it. They had not seen any. Only, very few at that time, very well known dancing stars at that time. And then when I came, I think we were lucky. After just, I went in December, and then we were invited from the museum, Folklore Museum. It's a big museum. And we were invited both, and we performed. She had already once performed, but when they heard that a young man is coming, young dancer, and everything was organized. I didn't know any language. German, I did not know at all. And those kids, they didn't know English. It was very difficult, but it was very funny. I was always smiling, laughing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and it was amazing. Both sides, we were laughing more and dancing. Yoga was different, was more serious, but with the children, I didn't have yes, Esther had also elder ladies too. I mean, 20, 25 or something like this. And I took over that, the dancing classes. And yeah, there was about 30 or 35 young children were there. The very first dance in 3 months I taught was a folk dance, because you couldn't teach classical dance for the Swiss children. It was very difficult. Jhanaru jhanaru dhim takata, jhanaru jhanaru dhim. Still nobody does that in South India. It's a very old Harvey dance.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have done it. I have done it. My guru used to teach it. Yeah.
You know it? Yeah, Hasurillada Hesaru.
Yes,
This
yes,
we
yes.
were invited in 1972 from Central India for the Republic Day function.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that time we went. So I loved it like this. I made it with 10 children, and it was a big success. Of course, we showed the classical dances, and so it was a big success. And it quickly in the newspaper came and radio. It was very special that Indian dance is performed in Basel, and then we were invited from the TVs stations, and slowly, small theater. We have here the lot of theaters, regular theaters. It's not sometimes dance performance or music concerts. They this is compulsory. Every night they go. They
There
will
you go.
function for different programs. So buy the tickets and then you go and enjoy the shows, whatever the music concerts or drama or dance, ballets, and so. Now the classical ballets are also less now here, but when they came to know, then yeah, we were invited from different cultural associations. There were at that time very few Indians, but also we had some Indian associations too. So all they invited us, and mostly from the Swiss Cultural Association and small theaters, they invited us. So very soon we became quite famous, and we were the only. I was the only. Still, I'm the only one man in the whole country in Indian dance. I don't know. Did you hear somebody from Switzerland, a male dancer? I don't professional one, and the dancing couple also. We were the only. I think still we were the only. We are the only one as dancing couple. But now we are all old anyway. um, yes, we became well known as Swiss Indian dance couple, and a lot of invitation came, big festivals.
How was the support
Yes.
for you from the Swiss government for such
Yes.
performances?
Here, of course, you ask for support, and they will decide what is worth and so on. We always every year we were supported, even not huge money, but every production is financial support we received, and still going on. Even my daughters now regularly they are doing. They're grown in the Indian dance, and I'm so happy this tradition is going on. I don't know how many years, yeah, but yes, this I'm very thankful. And also associations, they will pay. They know this when they call us, like other Swiss artists, whatever I do, whatever music or drama, whatever the functions, they will have a honorism. So you have to pay. Only the charity association, they collect the money, and for that it is our duty being an artist and non-artist. So you have to do that, and we do sometimes. Yeah, there are very big charity associations where they help also to India and to Africa, Afghanistan, whatever the other countries, even in Switzerland also. For something, we go and dance, yes. Uh, but otherwise, it's okay. Of course, it's not that easy. You get money just like this and so on. Because the work is always a work there. You have to arrange a program and all this. We have to train, and always it's a big responsibility. If you give once a good program, then people expect also a good program, and not
Correct.
always the same. Not always the same. Yeah, we saw it already. Well, in the beginning, it was like an exotic dance. They said also Oriental dance, even belly dance they called in the beginning. But we slowly tried. Now there are some other young people are doing coming up and trying to do that. But professionally, it is not that easy, to get the programs in the theaters and so. Earlier times it was much more. Now even for the theaters to exist, it has become difficult. Generally, not for the Indian. Generally, it has become a little difficult. Like artists, it is always problem. And Many theaters they rent, so you have to, if you want to do in this beautiful theater, you have to rent it, and the Switzerland is very expensive, so you have to have a support. Otherwise, you cannot give a program. It's very difficult. You never know from the income that you can meet all the expenses and so on. Anyway, I always invited from Mysore, India, especially as in from India, especially from Mysore, musicians like Guru Prasad came also many times. The many musicians, Pustakam Rama and M.A. Krishnamurti Mridangam Vidwan, he passed away, and M.A. Krishnamurti, flutist A.V. Prakash, and young flutist, Jairam. Jairam, yes, they have been here many times, they have seen it. So they all stayed in our house and cooking. It was very, very nice. So I'm looking forward to do that same thing again. You said also the changes, and so we also did um, changes in the sense offering different dance to different teams.
Okay.
When the European that they can understand, what they know from their music. So like classical music, when Antonio Vivaldi's Four Season, it's such a good theme. It is a timeless theme. So I always selected like this timeless theme, like Rupashi was telling about all. I don't want to repeat that all, but like Navagraha, about planets. We have this in astrology. You say ಗ್ರಹಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಯಾವ ತರ ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ ಎಂತೆಂತ ಸಲ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂಥರ ಸಂಜೆ ಒಂಥರ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಒಂಥರ. So people will also act. You never know. Sometimes you get paint from somewhere you don't know. But and such things, how you're influenced or in full moon day or empty moon day, all this explained with some examples. I I learned it in my German. I learned it very fast, Swiss German. So I mean, it's very rare that I talk in English. Only some special occasions who they don't know the German or so. Otherwise, I speak in German. My children, they speak Spanish, French, Italian, and German and English. So um, it's like this. This is also a plus point when you explain or give the introduction or the philosophy behind what it is in their own language, and they understand. So then they
Better.
can enjoy
Yeah.
more. And this is a plus point and advantage from the beginning for us. So and yet to us have a good success, I must say. I think yes. Yeah.
That's a great thing, sir. I think we need some days together to
Yeah.
explore the
There are
life
so
journey
many
which
things.
we've gone
There are
through.
so many
But
things.
with the limited time, I think we have done all
Yes.
justice to explore some important aspects of your personality. I would say not the journey. As we all know, you are the pride of our state, our nation, representing our culture in a different soil altogether, and propagating it more than I think 40 years from now.
45.
Kalash 45
I'm in the
years.
same place where we opened our school since
Yeah.
45 years. Yes.
So that's a great achievement in order, because rising is something very sometimes it's easy for most of them, but sustaining the journey, that's the most important thing, and I think that is what is looked for in a very senior artist like you, and that is what I think even we all take away from people like you as to how we need to sustain the thing. It is not about, yeah, I open 5 branches, I open 10 branches tomorrow, and I close all of them and come back to the first or second, and that shouldn't be there. But if you're rising, then the graph has to see that sustenance also, and then go through the life. And second thing which we learn from your life journey is to enjoy dancing, enjoy the work which we do, and and be whatever instance is it going inward as we go dance express through our dance outward. We need to also think inward towards it. That was a wonderful message which we got, and also a little more in depth knowledge about why do we perform yoga and what is the inner meaning of it. If you know about it, I think it will have greater value to it. And I think as a propagator of the bani, the style of dance which is so unique and so special and so rare, which is now not been in much vogue even in the state of Karnataka, even in the city of Mysuru. You have been propagating that style in another country altogether. That's such a wonderful person. We are very proud of introducing you again and talking about your life and your journey through Sankatha conversation series. Thank you so much for accepting and being part of it, sir.
Thank you also. But and by the way, we have built this Kalashri,
Yeah.
but nothing now happening because I must come there. So I have my plan, 3 months or 4 months to come to Mysore and stay there
Wow.
and teach the Mysore dance style, whoever they want. And I will propagate more also in Mysore. It's my responsibility, it's my duty. So I will do that as long as I can do that.
That's a
And
great.
because now I'm 75, actually it was all planned. I had planned a special show, a solo program in my 75. If I can do a margam, not yes, uh, everything was planned, but Corona came, so I couldn't. I have many invites, but I couldn't go. But now I hope to come in December. Maybe who knows? By that time, Corona will accept me and leave the place. So thank you so much, Sagar. It was very, very interesting. And thank you that you are interested in my work and so on.
No, all
And
of
I,
us are, sir. Why
huh?
not me? It's not only me. All of us in our state are equally interested, and we are really proud of you. And
Thank
it'll be a great opportunity for youngsters to dwell in the Mysore Bani. If you're going to do that, it is a great, great contribution. If you can, we are very eagerly looking forward to have you for that 3 months. I think it's going to be a great learning session for all of them who are interested in this traditional style of Bharatanatyam.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. Many they write to me.
we welcome you wholeheartedly. I think in
Thank
this
you.
December, and would like to have more and more collaboration through Rasagrahi and through our school
Wow,
uh,
wow. Okay.
to you with you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And
Thank you.
our greetings to your family, daughters, sons,
I
and
will tell. Yes, they are teaching now, so they
yeah,
couldn't be
yeah.
here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaste.